lot of people ask me where I get my ideas for the books, especially the horse books, because my characters are four-legged and two. The horses in my books are just as much character as the humans. The idea for One Frosty Christmas came about from when a girlfriend of mine was over at Thunderbird Arena. And a horse trailer pulled in, a horse transporter, and they brought out this tiny little frostbitten old Mustang with no ears, just a natty little thing, and dropped him in the stall beside the horses she was looking after, and asked her if she'd look after him for a couple of days until the new owners came down from Prince George to pick him up. She asked where he was from, and he said, well, Wyoming. So the whole idea of this frostbitten little pony that was just ugly natured, real flea bitten, not that nice looking, according to the girlfriend, I never met him, coming from Wyoming to Vancouver and making this trip up to Prince George. So someone loved him that much to bring that old pony up all that way and transport him. And that was where the first inkling of the idea came from. Hannah's story and Johnny Joe came from a little bit different area. I wanted to bring in the Métis culture, which I did with Johnny Joe character. And he's kind of loosely based on my own father and his search for his identity. And I did a lot of research regarding the Métis culture, because I grew up in a big city. Like most horse-loving kids, we're in a city. We don't have that opportunity to grow up with horses, growing up on a farm or ranch. And all I ever wanted all my life was a horse, and I studied everything I could. And with my parents' background, not knowing much of that, I did a lot of fact-finding and history in my own family history to create the character of Johnny Joe. And Hannah's story came about from my work volunteering with therapeutic riding associations. And I wanted a character that somebody, and every child, every person, every adult could identify with what she was dealing with on a daily basis. And how strong she was, really how strong she was through everything. And that's the premise of all my stories. It's not as teens or young adults or adolescents as needy kids or kids that are always angry or have this problem or have that. They're kids that are faced with everyday hardships. And out of that, they just end up these everyday heroes, and they can overcome it, they persevere. They're just hard-working, nice kids that have been dealt really bad hands, and they have a lot to overcome, and that's the theme that I bring through on all of them. The Great Pumpkin Ride. The first time I came to Vancouver Island was in Nanaimo on Jingle Pop Road the day after Halloween. Everybody brought their pumpkins out, and they lit the candles and the pumpkins beside the road. And it was so cool, and I thought, geez, would this ever be neat if they shut down the whole road and everybody came out by horseback or by wagon or by tractor, and they brought their pumpkins out as one, and that's how the concept for the Great Pumpkin Ride was born. Filly Called Easter was based on a true story, an actual true story. A horse named Chick, a little quarter horse who belonged to a girlfriend of mine, had every possible complication that you could imagine during her pregnancy. And it was such an ordeal for everybody concerned, not just the horse, but everybody's emotions ran high. So I worked closely with my friend Jackie and with our vet, Dr. Bettina Bobsian, to get all the details accurate. So everything that's described in A Filly Called Easter about the birth of the foal and the complications with Easter herself are based on this horse named Chick. The action adventure thrown in, of course, is just pure adventure and fiction. To Independence, which is more written for teens and adults. I worked in the Forest Service for 10 years. I worked as a hell attack firefighter, and I used some of my experiences working and what it's like being caught in a firestorm and how to survive it, basically. And I wrote that in, and June Stetler I love. She's the matriarch of the Stetler family, and she's crippled up with arthritis, and all of a sudden she becomes saddled with a 15-year-old dreadlocked surfer chick she hasn't seen in 10 years. She has no bond with this girl, and she has to find common ground. And then we have the 8-year-old little Billy. All he wants to do is be a cowboy. That's all he dreams of, is being a cowboy. And it's his goal of becoming a good horseman and going on a cattle drive. So it was an exciting and fun book to write. Valentino, which is the book that I'm working on now, is about a little blind girl. The Blind Girl is based on someone that I've come to know and love, and she was dealt a basket full of lemons, and every day she made lemonade that was sweeter than anybody could imagine. She overcomes such major issues, and she was part of the therapeutic riding program, and she's one of my personal heroes. And I asked her years ago if I could make her a character in my book, and she said yes. And so I have starred her in Valentino. Yeah, that's about it. You find inspiration in incredible places, and I hope all the kids and young adults and teens and adults out there that love my horse stories and that love to write, I hope you find something in your day-to-day experiences that happens, that you find that little gem that will start the seed for a story.
Wait for me.